Had a client asking me the other day, easiest way to manipulate labor on the estimate as he's looking at it. If there's something that he needed to change, what's the easiest way to go about doing that? And most of the setup you're going to find for estimating up here, maintenance, estimating labor maintenance, and then you're going to be working in these different options right here. But flipping through the menu can be kind of a pain in the neck. So most often it's easy to, when you're looking at an estimate, I double click on a piece, it brings up and shows me my labor. So of course, here's my labor groups and the breakdown of the hours by labor group. For instance, this one beam is a 21 at 44. I've got a labor code of B for bolted clips both ends, 3.38 hours. And there's my breakdown. As I'm looking at this, I might see a time that I want to tweak a little bit. The easiest thing to do, they built this screen several years ago, which is really, really nice, where I can really drill down in here. As I click on other items down here, you'll see some of my buttons change, but you'll also see the exact formula used for that particular line item. One of the easiest things to do is start drilling down into these items. So if I want to look at the labor code, when I click on this, you'll see I'm going directly to this labor code B on beams. So as I'm doing it in this screen, it takes me directly to the proper labor code. Now, one way of manipulating time is just changing some of these things. So like operations, if you're like, now I'm going to take out paint, I can just take that out if I wanted to. So you can adjust these quantities to add or take away different labor operations. Same deal with formulas over here. For instance, if I wanted to say if this was a welding operation, instead of bolted clips, this is welded clips, I could designate which type of weld and then just do my quantity up and down. I can control my holes here by just quantity. This is probably not what you're going to do most of the time, though, when you're manipulating labor. These labor codes are probably going to be okay for you unless you're creating your own. Most of the time, you're not going to be changing these quantities. Probably what you're going to be doing is looking at these labor standards most of the time. This labor standards is where a lot of these times are. Now these labor standards, and once again, see also this 21 at 44, when I clicked on labor standards, it went directly to the labor standards for 21 at 44. So here's all the times that are driving a lot of this information right here. So manipulating these will help you in manipulating your actual end time. So let's just take one of these, and let's say that move, we think that's too much time there. One thing you want to consider when you're looking at your labor standards, and if you're looking at changing the time, is looking at the extrapolation factor. So let me go back over here, and let's pull up labor operations. So if I'm going to change this move time, one thing I need to think about is what the extrapolation factor for that is. And this varies by length, factors on weight and quantity. So if this is 18 here, but I've got a 20-footer in my estimate, then I'll have 9 minutes, depending on this factors on weight and quantity, which I won't go into. But you got to think about this extrapolation factor may determine how much of this time is actually used. So you just need to keep that in mind. So like this, let me find one of these on beams. So this plate welded check says does not vary. So it really doesn't matter here or on what I have in the estimate. Whatever time I have for that plate welded check right here, 3.5 minutes, it doesn't matter. It's not going to vary no matter what the piece is on the estimate. So just take this extrapolation factor into consideration whenever you're changing your times. So, but let's say that this move, I think, ought to be 15 minutes. So I just go down here, change it to 15 minutes. So that 40 footer, 40 footer, 21 at 44, I'm saying is 15 minutes. If you look though, when I select here, that's 18 minutes. 21 at 44 is 15. If I go up 18, so everything else is still 18 minutes. I've only changed 21 at 44. If I want to change everything, I can go up here to Labor Standards Maintenance, Global Edit Operations, and all beam-like shapes I can modify. Of course, I can just do some of them if I want to, move them over. For this purpose, I'll do everything and say OK. And the only one that I changed was this move, so I'm going to move it over. So everything that I have selected here, all shapes and all sizes that I have selected, I'm going to pass this 15 minutes to on the move. So I'm going to say save. That's now all of these other ones should be 15 minutes as well for move. So that's one quick way to change some of these. Just make sure, like I say, watch your extrapolation factor and know how that's going to affect everything on your estimate. A couple other things you can really dig into here. Let's look at like holes. So I can go in here to the punch rates and change these as I need to if I think that's too much. You can drill down into those punch rates. Let's say that I had this as a welded clip instead of a bolted clip. Let me change that. Double click on here again and go back in. Now you're going to see that I have some weld formulas in here as well, like here the fillet weld 1/4 inch at 2'10". So you can drill down into the weld rates as well just by clicking on that button and changing this as needed. So this screen right here really helps you drill down into the actual labor and figure out what's going on. Once again, you can really even see the exact formula that it uses. And if you don't like it, then you can go in there and change whatever is needed. And they put nice buttons here just to go right in and change whatever you need to. So hope this helps somebody. That was really quick. If you got any specific answers or specific questions, just let me know in the comments below and I'll try to get them answered.